If you're a longtime wrestling fan, if it spans generations through your family, if you live and breathe the sport of professional wrestling, then I have a treat for you. You know, there's a saying, don't break kayfabe. And there's also a style which blurs the lines. Nowadays, WWE has adapted to it. But there was a man who created it, igniting the Monday Night Wars, one of the most controversial people in wrestling in the sport of professional wrestling. And also, may I add, oh, this is going to burn him up. He also won the heavyweight championship 25 years ago. If you're screaming right now at the top of your lungs, who could it be? Let's get to know Vince Russo.
You know it's about that time to grab a bag of the stickiest itchy bond you can find and pearl one up.
Hey, what's up, man? There he is.
Can you see me good?
I can see you perfect, brother.
Beautiful, beautiful. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. How are you today?
I'm doing okay. I am doing okay.
Before we begin, just so you know, I'm not a wrestling podcast or nothing like that. Casual wrestling fan, but I'm not what you would consider a smart mark.
Cool.
Grew up in the Attitude Era, but as a 40-year-old man, I do not own a Rhea Ripley shirt, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yes, yes.
So I see our rooms are a lot like when we both have our knickknacks.
Yeah, and like I've got ADD, so like I'm already distracted trying to figure out what you got behind you, man. I'm always interested in that stuff, you know.
Right behind me, I have I have a line of like cannabis wear. It's called Cronies, and I did these. This was the prototype for this figure we're coming out with. It's a Buddha.
Oh, nice. Pretty cool.
Do you smoke weed?
No, I'm into just the gummies that help me sleep. That's all I'll do. I don't like the feeling of being high, but like I will take gummies because they really help chill me out at the end of the day so I could sleep.
My wife is she's big into the gummies too.
Yeah.
They take the edge off. I mean, they truly do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I find that they're erasing the stigma from weed, which is good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Some of these questions, I'm just going to be dead ass serious. I'm sure you've probably answered a couple of them more than a couple times, but I'm not going to sit here and ask you, hey, what did you say to Eric Bischoff in 1999?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if people want to deep dive, they can deep dive. I have noticed a couple things in your career with wrestling. If you were to ask people, WCW champions, who's the bottom? They would go, "Oh, Arquette and Russo," right? But then if you flip it over to WWE, WWF at the time you were there, and you go, "Well, who was the bottom champions?" Nobody fucking says Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what? It's so weird how they'll pick and choose what they want and hate what they want. But here we are 25 years when this drops 25-year anniversary talking about to the champ himself.
The problem is, because again, you talked about at the beginning of this conversation about smart marks. The problem is you really have more people than you think, who have somehow, some way convinced themselves that wrestling is real. I am a writer. I had to write 2 television shows a week. And unless you do things like that, unless somehow, some way, a Hollywood actor winds up winning the title, somehow, some way, the authority figure winds up getting driven through a steel cage to win the title. Unless you do things like that, you're going to keep repeating the same stuff over and over and over again. And that's what people don't understand because they don't have a clue about writing. When you're writing 2 television shows a week, prime time television shows, if all of a sudden Goldberg spears Vince Russo through a cage and now Vince Russo finds himself with the championship belt, that opens up a whole other envelope and a whole other avenue that you would have never gone down before. And that's why you do things like that, because man, like, again, I unfortunately, because of what I do, I have to watch wrestling every single week. And all they're doing is repeating the same thing over and over and over again. There are actually people that will tell me to this day, oh, you were such a mark for yourself that you put the belt on yourself. I mean, absolute ridiculousness. Like I said, man, this was a television show. And that is the reason why I did things like that, because now you're opening up the creative envelope and now you can go down a road that you would have never went down before.
100%. And not only that, but a lot of things that are considered to be flops or, so to speak, or whatever, like you said, not only you're writing 2 shows a week, but you have to keep it creative. You have to listen, not every wrestler, nobody wants to see Bruno Sammartino holding the belt for 2,500 days, every single reign. You know what I mean? I'm not like I said, a casual watcher, but even a casual watcher checking in from time to time, it got stagnant with Roman, with Reigns. It's like, okay, and now it's just the fucking bloodline. There's so many fucking people there. I see it. You're bringing up these generations. You're bringing up. I mean, it's obviously generational, but it's like it's stagnant.
It's all about now wrestling somewhere along the line. It became all about the fake fight. And
Right.
it was never about the fake fight. It was always about the characters. And then you put those characters in interesting and intriguing storylines.
Yes.
And that's how you hook the casual fan. Everybody knows it's a work. They don't want to see 20-minute fake wrestling matches. And that's what we have today. Everything is all about the match. There's no characters, there's no storyline. And that's why, again, Netflix doing 1.5 million people, whatever they're doing. But all of a sudden, because of a lack of creativity, it's all about the match.
They're going to a lot of plan Bs, I see.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It feels like now you have way too many Chiefs and not enough Indians, if that makes sense. Yeah. Although it's weird, I will say this, right? Just like any other casual watcher, right? You start to ramp up. You always watch your SummerSlam, you watch your Survivor Series, you watch obviously WrestleMania. Anymore, it's like the 2-day PLEs. Like I like the SummerSlam now that it's 2 days. I feel you can do more of your roster and not, you're not just burying everybody. Everybody talks about like Triple H burying people, but I feel like with the 2-day PLE, it gives a lot more of the roster time to shine.
Well, it's 2 days because let's be honest, it's just the money. It's a money grab.
TKO is,
yeah, it's all TKO. It's all a money grab. And listen, I understand business is business. I understand that, but also what you listen. The second WWE under Vince McMahon, the second they decided, they got an offer from USA Network. The second they decided Raw was going to go from 2 hours to 3 hours, right then and there, they bastardized their product. Right there. For the almighty dollar, they knew they were going to water down the product. Now, since TKO has come, in charge, they've watered down their product tenfold. There's a different wrestling show on every single day. They literally don't have the time to write a good show. They got to fulfill contractual obligations, which means they just got to churn out content. It doesn't matter if the content is good or bad. It doesn't matter. They've got to put something on the air. And literally, that's the way it comes across every single week.
And then, if the, God forbid, a wrestler doesn't put it over well enough, then it's, oh, well, it was on him.
Right. Yeah.
or they don't like it or preaching to the choir. What I find to be crazy, or what I find to be intriguing, I guess I should say, is things that were done 20 years ago that you get a lot of slack for. Putting the belt on Arquette, you have Ready to Rumble coming out, you have all these things. It's from a business standpoint, it does make sense. To that person, that Mark, who's convinced himself that, hey man, Chris Jericho was the strongest person in the world at the time, and he was the best on the face of the planet. It's not going to make that much sense. Flash forward 25 years later, what will we have? Jelly Roll at SummerSlam. Same concept, same theory. Only difference is now I think people with those blurred lines on a bigger scale with TKO, more people are more accepting to it. You don't have those traditional style people that are like, it has to, you can't break kayfabe, you can't do this. They're an outsider, we're the insiders, this is our thing. I feel now, like you said, it's been bastardized a long time ago, but now it's such a cog in the fucking money wheel.
Yeah.
It'll never stop. And it's weird to say. Now we have a president who's had a WrestleMania match.
Right. Right.
So it's such that perpetual motion, like you're saying. That TKO is a beast on its own. I was talking to John Davis, John the Machine Davis. He was the inaugural middleweight power slap champion. And I was
Okay.
talking to him, and I said, there's the way that they're trying to build Power Slap. There's a lot of difference, or a lot of similarities between that and WWE at the time. Just curious, are you familiar with Power Slap?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm just familiar by the clips I see on like my Twitter. I'll get the clips and I'm like, bro, this is absolutely
Yes.
insane. And I mean, knowing, now what we know about concussions and CTE and stuff, that's why I look at this stuff and I'm like, bro, I don't think anything good is gonna come out of that.
Yeah, down the road, it's going to be nuts. I'm surprised some of those guys are still standing at the end. But I
Yeah.
can see with TKO being, the mothership now, pretty much, so to speak. I can see them doing a tie-in with certain wrestlers, and especially with like the women's division. Get in there. I mean, obviously, it would be it would be nerfed, it would be watered down. It's
Yeah.
WWE. We're not, I know they don't want another brawl for all, but
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. I could see a crossover like that event, because it's now the lines are so blurred between WWE and obviously UFC's. You're getting your fucking face pummeled in, but
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I definitely agree. Yeah.
you know, who do you think in recent years had the best retirement match?
Oh God. What was there ever a real retirement match?
Sabu.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Not to
guess.
be not to be a dick, but I mean, he can't go. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah. Goldberg's gonna wrestle again.
Of course, of course. It's like everybody's saying right now. John Cena's like, I'm not going to. My body can't take it. When you see those zeros and zeros and zeros, I think you could pull one more out. If you could pull a
Yeah.
whole year
Yeah.
out, you could pull another one
And
time.
that's funny, man, because I always get into the conversation of, almighty dollar versus legacy, man. And, is the almighty dollar worth just tarnishing that legacy that you worked decades and decades and decades for? Now, if you need the money, that's one thing. I totally get that, but let's be honest.
Right.
The guys who keep coming back are not hurting for money. And I'm always like, that's, I mean, so many guys left such great legacies behind and then they come back, man, and that's kind of like the last thing you remember. And like you said, man, I know they got a lot of zeros, but I like I said, man, if you need the money, that's one thing, but I think legacy is important.
Absolutely. You think Flair has tarnished his?
Oh God, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
I agree. And and you keep seeing these little things online where he's like, oh, still got another one in me. He reminds me
Oh
of
yeah.
fucking of Mandelbaum from Seinfeld.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's bro. I used to say this all the time, and man, I've been saying this for 30 freaking years. When you have a conversation with a regular person about the egos in wrestling, they're not going to believe you because, like, the normal person does not understand that level of ego. I mean,
Right.
here we've got 80-year-old Ric Flair, however old he is, that like still needs to be in the spotlight. And I mean, I'm 64 and I want to get as far away from the spotlight as possible. Believe me, if I was making wrestlers money throughout my career, I would not be podcasting now. I promise you that. I podcast
Right.
because I still need to make a living. But just the ego that the majority of the wrestlers have, and part of that ego is, man, they cannot let it go. And that's weird for me because with every passing year, the industry becomes less and less and less important to me. That wrestling became a job for me when I went to WCW. When I went to WCW and I had to deal with the level of politics that I did, at that point, it was just a job. I went to work every day. I did the absolute best that I could do, but there was no passion. There was no love. When I saw that other side of it, it was just a job. But I look
Yeah.
at so many people in the business. You see it now on this Unreal show. You see it on that Netflix Unreal show. It is the be all end all for these people. Like, it is absolutely everything. They live, breathe, drink, shit, professional. It's everything.
Every
And it's
facet.
like, my God, people, like, it's a job. It's a freaking job. At the end of the day, that's all it is. And I sit back and I'm watching that Unreal, and just the level of seriousness, like, everything is life and death. And if you make one mistake, and I'm like, bro, it's a job. At the
Right.
end of the day, that's all it is. It's a job. But God, it is taken at such a serious level. And I'll be honest with you, man. I sit back and I laugh at it because I've learned one thing in life. Here's the one thing in life I've learned. When you put all your attention towards something that doesn't matter, then you're neglecting the things that are. Without a shadow of a doubt. If my 1000% focus is on fake wrestling,
Right.
then where my focus really should be, those are the parts of my life that are suffering, and I'm going to be paying for that later on in life.
This is true. You don't manage under your roof, man. It all collapsed down, dude.
Yep, absolutely, man. Yeah.
You married?
Oh yeah, I've been married for 42 years. Yeah.
We all know about wrestlers. You get your what they call, like, I guess, your road buddy, your road dog. You guys travel together, your travel buddies. Did production and writers ever have like a travel partner like that?
Ah, bro, I had to travel with Vince, man. It was me, Vince, Shane, and Ed Ferrara. It's so funny, bro, because everybody, you're in that spot and everybody is so envious of you. Oh my God, bro. Early on in my career, when I used to travel with Howard Finkel,
Okay.
that was heaven compared to traveling. I hated traveling with Vince, man. It
I
was
can see that.
24/7 non freaking stop. And people like, oh, they're this. Oh, I wish I was in that spot. That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's exactly what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. It was absolute freaking torture. The guy did not have an off switch. He did not have an off button. Bro, I swear to God, we would, we would, have, fly to the town, have a meeting the night before, have Raw, then drive to the next town. And I swear to God, he always used to say to me at the end of every show, he always used to say to me, Vince, did I get it all? And then, bro, what would happen would be we'd get in the car and we drive to the next town. Bro, the second you're falling asleep in the back, it could be like a 3-4 hour drive. The second you're falling back into sleep, bro, it could be the middle of December. He rolls down the windows,
Oh shit.
would not let you sleep. And again, like I said, people, oh, you travel with Vince, like, bro, you have no idea what that was like, man. None.
I can only imagine, dude. That's a fucking That's the beast incarnate right there.
Bro, he would want to work on TV. Bro, there was no private jet back then. We
Right.
rode commercial. And he would want to be standing and working on television in the galley. And the freaking waitresses not waitresses, stewardesses were like trying to do their job, working around Vince McMahon. And I swear to God, bro, I would just be standing there like, are you freaking kidding me, bro? Like, can we just not sit in our seat and fly to the next freaking city? But that's how it was, bro. I mean, and you talk about somebody where it was his whole entire life, bro. I swear to God, I can't imagine what his life looks like now. And I think we got a glimpse of him maybe going stir crazy with what just happened with him in this automobile accident where he almost killed himself. You take that grind out of Vince McMahon's life.
Yeah.
Bro, I got to be honest. I don't know how he's going day to day. I really don't.
What do you even say to that? It's got to be like how when the tables turned on Hulk Hogan and people were just like, it's like when he came out last time and people were booing him and he's like, nah, man, people loved it. It's like, nah, dude, because you don't want to come to that realization because it's gonna fuck you up. And Vince, I'm sure him going from the Omega everything to his phone getting really dry probably, and people say you talk to Vince, you don't have a job here no more. Yeah, it's got to be a lot to take in, dude. I mean, you're talking $1 billion empire.
And bro, think about like it's very similar to Bill Cosby.
Right.
Bro, we're talking about guys in their 80s. Can you imagine this is the end of your life? The NDAs and the accusations and the allegations. This is the end of your bro. I can't imagine. And it's really hard, bro, because there is a big part of me. There's a big part of me that I hope it's not true.
Right.
I really, I want it not to be true. Obviously, if it's true, Janelle Grant should get her day in court without a shadow of a doubt. If it's true and she was victimized, absolutely. But there's a part of me that it's like, man, I really hope none of this is true because this is not good for anybody.
No.
If it's true, it's not good for Vince. It's not good for Linda. It's not good for the grandkids. It's not good for Janelle Grant. It's a horrible, horrible story. But you're talking about, bro, this is, again, this is wrestling again. Bro, the guy thought he was bulletproof. The guy literally thought there's nothing I can't get away with. And he pushed that envelope, and man, all it takes is one person. All it takes is one person coming out, and man, the walls are going to come crashing down.
One person sways that opinion, and the tide started turning, man. If that's the last thing we're left with, the last impression we're left with, then that's going to be the first thing people think about.
Absolutely,
it's going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work backwards. It's fucked up. It is. It's a sad situation. In a good light, right? You talk about Vince, right? You ever seen Vince pull a rib?
There was a time it was just Vince and I writing television. That's it. Just you see now they got boardrooms and whiteboards and all this shit. No, bro, it was the two of us.
That's the shit.
And I would go to his house. And you're talking about Vince coming out, sweatpants, pardon the expression, guinea tea,
right?
Hair not combed, lifting up his leg whenever he had a fart. Like, I got to see the regular guy, but he never let you see that regular guy. But like I said, I was working so closely with him for so long. And that's the thing too, like, bro, Vince knew I was never one of them. I was never in that wrestling bubble. I was never the lifer. I was never the guy where wrestling was the be all end all. Bro, I was married. I had kids. This was my job. Right. I never got obsessed with it. I never got caught up in it. I kind of was always an outsider, and Vince kind of knew that. And I think that's why, like, him and I had a very, very different relationship, because I was just not from that world. I'm still not. I'm still not from that world today. I am definitely an outsider. I am not. I don't reside in the wrestling bubble. I never resided in the wrestling bubble. I never wanted to. And I always made sure, it was husband first, father first. And this is how I support my family, man. And I'm going to give you the best I possibly can, but this is not going to become my be all end all.
I don't blame you. I mean, so, so it's like where I work at. I work for what we call the devil. I'm an asset specialist. And when you're working with corporations that big, I mean, it's two totally different walks of life, but the wheel never stops. And they don't
Yeah,
want to hear I can't get it done. They don't want to hear what your work home life balance is. And it's so weird because these people expect us, expect everybody to be as invested or more invested in their
right,
business across the
right,
board, no matter what walk of
right.
life, just as much as they are. And not, and
Right.
I'm with you on that. I think I relate to that philosophy of I don't care if it's the biggest company in the world. People tell me all the time, must be nice. It has its moments, but it's a job. Just like if we didn't need a paycheck, you probably would have never worked there at any of them.
Never.
You know what I
Right.
mean? It's just like if I didn't need a job, if I didn't need the money, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And not a
Exactly.
lot of people nowadays, they have this preconceived notion where it's like a fake sense of like self-worth because they're making somebody else rich or they're breaking their back for somebody. And it's like, nah, bro, I'm cool on that. I will get the job done and I will do what's expected of me. But once you start taking that for granted and trying to do a little bit more, then we have to have a talk because
Right.
it's not a fair compensation.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
It brings up a good question though. Let's say wrestling never came in your life. I know you went to school for journalism. What would have been your dream job?
Bro, I swear to God, bro, when I got out of college, I worked in I worked for CBS Publishing for a little while. I was a salesman, but I was able to buy a couple of video stores. Bro, this is before Blockbuster. This is mom and pop. This is mom and pop video. This is phase one. Okay. Bro, I swear to you, I would still be doing that to this day. I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. First of all, man, there's nothing in the world like owning your own business. There's nothing like it. I don't care if you've got to work a billion times harder. You don't got to deal with the bullshit. You don't got to deal with the politics. You don't got to deal with any of that.
Yep.
So owning your own business is an absolute dream. And plus, man, I was always an entertainment guy. So to have your own business where you're literally sitting there talking about movies all day and critiquing movies and recommending movies, like, bro, I had two jobs and I absolutely loved it. I wish I would have never had to go anywhere, but that's when Blockbuster
Oh shit.
started moving in, and as soon as they moved in, mom and pop could no longer compete with them. And it was, the writing was on the wall, and that's when I knew I had to get into something else.
Talking movies, man. Give me a list of like I mean, don't have to be a certain amount, but give me a list of your couple favorites.
Well, my all-time favorite is Saturday Night Fever, bro. Growing
Okay.
up in New York, like that was I mean, I can quote that line word for word.
Oh yeah.
Obviously Rocky,
Yeah.
obviously, I'm Italian, so there's a lot there. One of my favorite movies, bro, is because I love characters and I love dialogue. Glenn Ross,
Okay.
what an oh my God, what dialogue, what acting. Those are the movies I really, really, really like. I'd say those three are probably my top three.
By any chance, did you go see Glenn Ross on Broadway? They just had it a couple months ago.
No, no, I did not. No. Unbelievable film. That cast in that movie was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
You know what's funny? I've never seen the movie. Read the
Oh,
synopsis. I was like, oh, it seems like something I'd be interested in. And told my wife, this is back in, February. It's like, man, Glenn Ross, I want to go to Broadway. She used to sing on Broadway. She was like, I don't want to go see that. And I was like, really? For once, I'm in. She's like, nah. And then just so happens, my work sent me to Times Square. We have a building there right behind Times Square, and they sent me there for a training or whatever. And I was like, you know what? I might go. And the only seat that was left was like front row, and it's 800. And I was like, no, I'm not going.
Hey man, that's only what $39,200 less from 2 tickets to SummerSlam, man.
Man,
What a joke. The
oh
ticket
my
prices
God.
with TKO. What a freaking joke, man.
I just don't understand. Dude, no, you want to know what a joke is? Oh man, here, let's go. You want to know what the joke is? Is that John Cena's heel turn outfit, the Fanatics, was on sale for $75,000. Did you see that?
No,
It
I
was
did
that.
not.
It was so they had, Fanatics was selling all the used gear, and it literally was John Cena's entire outfit from Elimination Chamber, and they were selling it at WrestleMania weekend. Somebody was just sharing it, sharing pictures, and I was like, "Are you serious? $75,000?" And it wasn't signed. I was like, "What?" I mean, not like that's going to make or break the fucking price,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
75 grand. And I was like, "Dude, who's buying this shit?" It's not like
I
it's a
know,
Ruth
man.
jersey. Like it's not a Babe
Yeah,
Ruth fucking. I mean, come on.
yeah.
Who's some wrestlers you can't believe are actually still alive? And I don't mean like just of age. I mean like these guys fucked themselves up all in and out of the ring,
Players at the top of that list. I mean,
right?
without shadow of a doubt, man.
Right.
Oh my God, bro. It's because so many of them have died. That's why it's really hard to name them now because we've lost so many. But I think the fact that he's still kicking is
I don't know if this is funny or sad. I mean, this was I'm gonna say 2007, 2008. This is a long time ago. Zach Gowen
mhm.
was wrestling this event. He was all fucked up, and he just happened to come up. He come up and he's like, "Who this guy? This guy fucking, whatever." And we're just like, "Hey, what's up, dude? We got some beers." And he's like, "Oh, let's give me some fucking perks or whatever." And everybody's like, "Oh, okay." So this woman walks over, gives him this pill without thinking. It's like a lot of fucking guys popped it in, think of it, right? Or pops it in, walks away. And everybody's like, "What'd you give him?" She's like, "Oh, I gave him some of my birth control." So it's like my man was fucked up. And now it's funny
Yeah.
because I seen him on some promo. I don't know. I guess he did some match in recent time, last couple months. And I was like, after meeting him that one time encounter, didn't think he'd still be alive.
That's the lifestyle, man. I swear, bro, that's why, like, my rule of thumb, bro, all the companies I worked for all the years, show's over, right up to the room, man. Period. Shut the door, call the wife, put on the TV, never went to the hotel bar, never went out because nothing good ever came out of any of that, man.
I can see that. Especially you get a lot of egos, you get a lot of alcohol. It's
Yeah.
you say the wrong thing. Certain not you, but anybody you say the wrong thing, egos are gonna clash. It's gonna
Yeah.
be like when worlds collide.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And it was. Yeah.
Got this little thing here, right? I think you'll appreciate it, right? In honor of you being on the show, I try to do a little segment with everybody that portrays to them. And for this segment, I'm calling it Vince Russo. Do you consider this to be a bro or a schmo? Chris Jericho, bro or schmo?
Definitely, bro. Definitely, bro.
Dean Malenko,
Bro, I'll be honest with you. I worked with Dean for a very short time. So I can't I would think that Dean would have been a bro, but I hardly worked with him, bro. So I can't really say.
um, either, and this could go either wrestler wise or a behind the scenes wise, Triple H or Paul Levesque, however you want to look at it.
Well, that's a trick question because
Okay.
the Triple H that I worked with before he was, Mr. Stephanie,
Right.
the Triple
Right.
H, the Triple H I worked with was bro all the way, all the way. The Triple H I see today on Unreal and The Triple H I see today is 1000% Schmo. Two different people, from the person I knew before, who was still dating China, that guy, to what I see today. He went from bro to Schmo, in my
From bro to
opinion.
schmo.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one, controversial. And this one I'm gonna say strictly work. Chris Benoit.
Bro, that was another one. I worked with Benoit around the same amount of time I worked with Malenko.
Okay.
So I didn't work with him enough to be able to determine that. But my impressions of him would have been bro. But I, again, did not have a chance to really work with him.
Shawn Michaels.
God, bro, I had such a love-hate relationship with Shawn because we worked very, 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 very close together. Shawn Michaels was the only wrestler that actually physically threatened me. But through all that, bro, again, he's kind of in that Triple H category, man, because I would say the guy I worked with was bro. But now the guy in charge that I see, I don't know. He's not the schmo that Triple H is today. But when I worked with him, we had our ups and downs, but I definitely would have considered him bro.
You always hear people with him. It's either it's a fine line with Shawn Michaels, especially back in the day. You always hear it's like,
Oh yeah, no, bro. Back in the day, he had his demons. He was always pilled up. I mean, it was
then you got
not
the ego
easy.
kicking in, man. I mean, my man.
Yeah, bro, it was not easy. It was not easy, but bro, listen, I say this to this day. Shawn Michaels, if you're talking all around, he was the best I ever worked with. The all around game, he was the best I ever worked with.
Showstopper, man. I mean,
Yeah,
puts
yeah,
puts asses in seats. You know what I mean? Like even today, it's
yeah.
asses in seats. Not wrestler, but last wrestling personality, Eric Bischoff.
Bro, I can honestly sit here and tell you, out of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that I worked with, and bro, obviously you're not going to get along with everybody. Obviously, there's just too many personalities, and the type of job it is, and the pressure, and it's, and the position I was in. But I can honestly tell you this, bro, out of everybody I ever worked with, he is the one person that I genuinely did not like. I
Wow.
do not like
Okay.
him to this day. And bro, I don't feel that way about anybody else. You'd be surprised, bro. I don't feel that way about Jim Cornette. To me, bro, Jim Cornette is a total goof. I look at Jim Cornette like a total goof, and everything with Jim Cornette and Vince Russo is all shtick. It's like his stand-up routine.
Yes.
So that doesn't bother me. Bro, the problem I always had with Bischoff, and I've got this with that type of personality, when you think you're better than everybody else, bro, and you're just smug, and you've got that chip on your shoulder, and you love power, and you love people being afraid of you, and you're a politician, and you're playing, bro, I don't care who it is. I'm not going to get along with that type of person because I am the complete opposite of that, bro.
Especially for somebody like that. Like they said, like again, I could be speaking out of school here, but that persona that a person like that is pushing for a person that was kind of just given a role and it wasn't earned to him, or he didn't earn it, I
Yeah.
should say. I'd be very standoffish as well.
Yeah,
Like,
and a lot
fuck
of
that.
people like say to me like, "Oh, yeah, Vince, I know Eric, and Eric's a great guy." And I'm like, "Bro, you didn't have to work with him. You don't you that's what I'm talking about here. If I had never had to work with the guy, perhaps I would have felt differently. I had to work with him. And that's that, over years an opinion was formed, and it was because of my working relationship with him.
I can see you guys both go to like a WrestleCon and you go, I'm not fucking going over there. But I don't see you guys fist fighting if you're running to each other at the fucking at
No.
the fresh pantry. You know what I'm saying?
But bro, honestly, that's what, bro, you have no idea how much money I've turned down by not doing those. I don't do those, bro. I don't want to be around. I don't want to be around wrestling people. I don't want to like, so bro,
They take it
bro,
so
the only way you will ever get me to do that is, first of all, it's got to be in New York.
right.
If it's anywhere other than New York, I'm not doing it. You know, I'm from New York. My daughter's still in New York, so I can see her. But then it always comes down to, okay, who else is going to be there?
Right.
And just depending on the names and stuff, bro, it's just not worth the headache to me.
I see. Even though there's money involved, it's not worth the fucking headache every time.
It's not,
It's going
bro.
to be a
Absolutely
constant
not.
line of somebody thinking, going, "Oh, I want to tell him how I feel," and it's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, man,
Yep.
what the? Okay, let's hear about the Montreal screw job again." Like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's fucking
Absolutely, man.
let's go
Yeah.
through the motions every fucking day, and then it goes, thanks for the $40. Hey, man, let me tell you about the Montreal. Did Brett screw Brett? And you're like, Jesus Christ, dude. It's just,
Yep. Yeah. Exactly, man. Yeah.
people don't know how to move on. People don't know how to adapt. Like you said, man, there's a camera rolling. There's a camera rolling for a fucking reason. You know what I mean? Even before there was
Yep.
a camera rolling, there was asses in seats for a reason on Saturday nights. There was reason
Yep.
why there was territories. People needed something to do. It's sports entertainment.
That's it. It's entertainment. It's entertainment. That's it.
Yes.
I mean, people like they forget that so easily. It's a form of entertainment. That's all it is. That's it. Period.
It eludes a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely it does. Yeah.
What do you think about a bro move or a schmo move so far? Cena's farewell storyline.
Oh, horrible. It's beyond schmo. Like absolutely. Bro, here's the bottom line. There's a lot politically going on behind the scenes with Triple H and Rock. They never liked each other, bro. And bro, wrestlers don't forget. And bro, the DX, the click, whatever you want to call them, they made Rock's life a living hell when he was a rookie coming up, and he never forgot that. So there is a personality conflict going on there. I mean, bro, for Rock to not even tweet out about SummerSlam, a company that he's got millions and millions of dollars in stock options and he's sitting on the board, for him to not even mention them, there's a lot of heat going on behind the scenes.
For him right now, it's just a paycheck. Like
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You talk about going back, them button heads, they're coming up, and obviously now they're both businessmen. Who okayed this skit where X-Pac came out as fucking Mark Henry?
No, bro, I was there for that, bro. They did all that on their own. I
Oh
mean,
shit.
I was the head writer at the time, and basically I hit them with the idea of, we're gonna do a parody of the Nation. I mean, so I've got to give them the creative.
Right.
Once I gave them the creative, bro, they went out on their own. So they went to makeup on their own. They came up with a lot of verbiage on their own.
Right.
And bro, I got to tell you, I give them all the credit in the world for that, because that was either going to get over really well or bomb.
It was ballsy.
Bomb.
Ballsy,
Yeah.
dude.
Very, very, very ballsy. But bro, they came up with the makeup and the look, and I mean, it was my creative. There's no
Right.
question about that.
Right.
But it was their performance, man. It really, really
Wow.
was. Yeah.
It's another moment where people were like, "What the fuck?" Just like a lot of people, you get a lot of slack over the triple cage. I don't know. I always thought that was really cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Bro,
who the fuck else did that?
They had this tremendous, tremendous triple cage made for Ready to Rumble.
Right.
And then it's sitting in the warehouse. And I'm like, how do you not put that on television? Bro,
Yes.
everything with TV is the way I wrote TV. Bro, everything's got to be a spectacle. You know why
Yes.
everything's got to be a spectacle, bro? Because if somebody's got a remote control in their hand and they're clicking, they're going to stop at a spectacle. They're not going to stop at a wrestling match. If they're not wrestling fans, they're not going to stop at a wrestling match. You see this 3-tier cage, whether you're a wrestling fan or not, you're stopping and you're watching. But that was the whole thing, man. They used it for the movie, and then it's sitting in the warehouse, and I'm like, are you crazy? Like, we need to get this on the show.
What was your involvement with Ready to Rumble? What was it? Did you have a lot of involvement in it, or
no? Not really, bro. Because when I came in, that was already in production.
Oh, okay, it was okay. I'm with you.
Yeah, it was already in production, and it was really hard, bro. Because when I came in, and I'm writing the televisions, I didn't have access to the entire roster because a lot of them were working on the movie. So it was difficult because I had to work around who's here and who's working on the movie. When I first started there, it was a little difficult.
People are still, here's what's crazy, get so much slack, but I don't know if I'm sure you are aware. It's probably one of the most requested things in a WWE video game is to have a triple cell.
Bro, there are so many things that, I did, under my pen. Whether you loved it or hated, bro, it's still being talked about 25 years later. Bro, I swear to you, what is today? Tuesday?
Yeah.
I watched Raw last night. I cannot tell you what was on that show. And people constantly bring up moments from 25 years ago. That's what it's supposed to be, bro. It's supposed to be memorable. Whether you love something or whether you hated it, if you're remembering it 25 years later, it had some kind of an impact on you.
Fuck yeah, it did, dude. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. I mean, it's, I could be speaking out of school here because I know that you had left WWF at the time, 99, but it's like, you were on both sides of the Monday Night Wars. So it's like, your ideas are influential in the ground of one of the most talked about, still talked about a quarter of a century later, the most influential time in wrestling's history, arguably. What I'm getting at is, while you're still alive, people need to give you your fucking flowers, man.
Bro, I got to be honest with you. I hate saying this. I really, really hate saying this, bro. Like, because people ask me all the time about my legacy. Bro, I am not a fan of today's wrestling business. And, bro, I'm going to be honest with you. I have very little respect for the wrestling business and a lot of people in it. Okay. When I worked in the business actively, I was working with professionals. The Rock was a professional. Kevin Nash. We can go up and down the list. Savage, Warrior, up and down. I worked with pros.
Oh yeah.
I watch wrestling today and I'm seeing children. And I have no respect for today's wrestling business. I have no respect for a lot of people in it. Bro, my legacy, real simple. Was I a good son? Was I a good husband? Was I a good father? That's what's important to me, not numbers of a television show 25 years ago. Because, bro, listen, I'm the kind of guy. Listen, I'm a New Yorker. I was born in Brooklyn, and bro, the one thing I hang my hat on is work ethic. Whether I was selling books for CBS, whether I was running my own video store, whether I was the head writer during the Attitude Era, or whether I'm doing podcasting today, I am always going to turn in the absolute best performance I can. And that has a lot to do with why I have no respect for today's wrestling business. Because when I watch these shows, they're sleepwalking through these shows. I could literally be in a coma and write these shows. Bro, with the shows that I wrote and the shows that Ed Ferrara and I wrote together, bro, I can tell you, we left our blood, sweat, and tears on every single page. We agonized over every single segment, bro. We wanted it to be the absolute best it could be because we had pride. And maybe that comes with being an Italian. Maybe that
Right.
comes with being a New Yorker. We had pride. And I look at today's product, and that's always my question. Where is your pride? Can Triple H look himself in the mirror at the end of every show and say, that was the absolute best I could have possibly done? Bro, they're going through the motions. They're nothing more than content creators. They don't care if it's good or bad. They've got their big fat contracts with Netflix and Saudi Arabia. They could give a crap what they're presenting to the fans. And that's why, bro, you don't have casual fans watching professional wrestling anymore. They've got their little niche audience of their hardcore marks that are gonna, do their sing-alongs and, think they're part of the show. But people like me, casual wrestling fans, bro, they're gone, and they're never getting those people back.
Yeah, it's very hard to keep interest. Obviously you have your peaks and valleys, but once you get to that peak, you go, "Oh fuck, well, let's see what's going on." Then the next
Right.
week they shit the bed, and you go, "Yeah, this is why." Okay, that duh.
Yeah.
This is why.
Exactly.
This is why I took that remote and I changed the channel. This is
Right.
exactly why.
Exactly. Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel, and I'm shit. I mean, this goes without saying. They can dog walk a lot of it. I feel because people that are in it, we were saying, they're generational now. So you got your 40-year-old guy with his fucking 12-year-old son, and that 12-year-old son doesn't care about the story so much, or isn't as invested in the story anymore as much as he is. Can I get John Cena's farewell t-shirt? Can I do this? And they have like their big talking points, so to speak, and
Yeah.
all the rest is just fucking water under the bridge because they know that TKO, that perpetual motion, is going to keep it running, dude.
Bro, all they're doing now, it's real simple. This is Triple H's formula. This is what they're doing. Everything is about a pop. They're
Yeah,
playing for the pop. So what it's twofold, bro. Everything is for the pop. Brock Lesnar returns. That's the pop. Seth Rollins turns in the suitcase. That's the pop. Then they take that pop and they transfer it over to social media and YouTube, and they boast about how 75 million people watched a 30-second clip. That's what this company is, bro. It's pop, 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 pop. And that's how they're getting by. Big moment, pop, throw it on social media. The other 2 hours and 30 minutes you could absolutely throw away because it means absolutely nothing.
it's true. There's big moments. It's like I was like, oh, John Cena went heel. That's cool. But I will say, like I said, I watched the big events, SummerSlam. I did notice huge pop. But if you notice before the end of that match, it was already on social media. Huge pop though. I'll give him that. But like you said, obviously you know it. You've written a book. It's all for the pop. But it's so
Absolutely.
weird how they can take the pop now and generate that. And it does, like you said, it doesn't matter. And I know we're talking billions of dollars as opposed to the social media money, but it doesn't matter how good that match is because they're that pop, like you said, that 30-second pop. Now it's getting, they got paid from that night. They're getting paid from Facebook. They're getting paid from TikTok. And it's just generating money. Plus, they got the
Yep.
T-shirt to commemorate it. And then the
Yep.
top. How do you feel about the Tops Now cards? Interested to know your feelings on that.
What is that? I'm not even that familiar with them.
After every big event, like when Travis Scott was out there with Cody Rhodes and John Cena and The Rock, they had a card, and it was basically you buy one card and it's all of them on it, straight cut from the show, and then you'll buy like 10 copies of it, and it could be a one of one in there where they all signed it. It could be a gold edition where there's only 5 of them, a black diamond edition. So they'll take all the memorable moments now from all the paid live events and they'll put it into a trading card. It's just that moment. Or like they did after WrestleMania, they took John Cena's socks and cut a square of his sock out, made a relic. You pay $10 for the card, or you can buy them in 20 packs for $200. You might get that one of one.
Or think about it like that. That's hysterical to me because do people honestly believe wrestling cards are ever going to be worth anything? I mean, let's be honest, bro. Listen, Hulk Hogan just passed away. If you've got a signed Hulk Hogan trading card, what, bro? Maybe we'll get $50 for it. Maybe you'll get $100 for it. Bro, wrestling memorabilia is never going to be worth anything unless you find a wrestling mark,
Yeah.
willing to pay thousands and thousands. But it's not like it's a baseball card or a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card. I mean, it's a wrestling card for crying out loud.
WrestleMania, they started having the little debut patches. Ever since then, they have the debut patch. Now they're taking the debut patches and putting them on those cards
Yeah.
as well, and you're going for the hunt.
Yeah.
But I can see some people do go for good money, but I mean, you're talking, like if I'm just throwing out there, what's that chick's name? Like, like Nikita Lyons, boom, you get Nikita Lyons card, now you can burn that thing. It's like 2 cents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you pay
Right.
$40 for the pack. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like a pretty good scam.
I know we're gearing up here to leave. I know your time is almost up, my friend, or actually is up, man. Couple quick questions before we head out, brother, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
You were talking earlier, and one thing I've heard you talk about, I've heard a lot of people ask you about, the writing two shows and then going to WCW. Was there ever a time, boom, you get a fucking spike in ratings that week? You ever get a bonus? They ever go, hey, like an attaboy?
Well, no, when I went to WCW, I had a base salary and then I would get bonuses based on ratings when I went to WCW, but I never ever had that at WWE.
Gotcha.
Bro, I've never the catchphrases that I came up with, the characters that I came up with, all that stuff, bro, I've never got one single penny in royalties from that company. Nothing, bro. Zero.
It's like I was wondering that if it's almost the same thing as like the lady who made the Nike symbol and you get what I'm saying because I know it's you're on the clock, but I didn't know if they be an entertainment business if they do different incentives.
No, nothing. Nothing, man. Yeah.
Where did the name Vic Venom come from?
Bro, it came from when I was doing the magazine, bro, like I was literally writing that magazine by myself from cover to cover.
Oh wow,
So I had to come up with other names so every story wasn't by Vince Russo. Like seriously. So I just came up with other pen names to be these other characters because the reality of it was I was writing the magazine pretty much by myself.
gotcha. It just sounds like one of those like 90s wrestler names. You know what I mean? I was just
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know if you had actually made it up or you just went like, yeah, we're not using that name. I'm gonna fucking take that pen name.
Yeah, and I kind of just made it up off the top of my head and went with it, man, pretty much.
That's cool, man. It is the 25-year anniversary of you becoming the WCW champion. In retrospect, man, I mean, I'm gonna say it was a bro move. We've talked about business here. We've talked about smart marks. We've talked about wrestling. But in retrospect, how do you feel about forever your name going? Yeah, I was a WCW champion.
Bro, honestly, man, and I say this to people all the time. Bro, it was just another show.
Right.
I mean, WrestleMania was just another show. Bro, when you're writing that many shows, it's just another show. I mean, that's all it is. And I tell people all the time, like WrestleMania as a writer was just another show. What's more important is the Raw after WrestleMania. That's more important than
Set your next
WrestleMania.
storylines up.
But that's what it is, bro. Like, me winning the WCW title for 24 hours, it was
Yeah.
just another show. Like
It's fucking
that's
awesome, though.
all it ever was, man. Just another show.
I 1000% understand the mentality. You know what? You know why I think a lot of people are so held up on it, whether it's smart mark, casual watcher, people will fucking love the Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars. I think, regardless if it was 24 hours or if you wrote it or you not, because in that world, you reach the pinnacle. And regardless of how many people there are at the top of that pinnacle, your name's only written there next to so many. And I feel that a lot of people feel like it may have cheapened it. I feel like that's fucking great.
That's a good point because, bro, I have to be honest with you. I never for 1 second ever looked at it that way. It was just another show. Like that's
Understandable.
all it was. And the way I wanted being speared through a cage. And then
Right.
all of a sudden I've got this belt and I'm like, well, I got nothing more to prove here. Like I just beat the best in the world. It was just another show, bro. That's all it was, man.
There was a lot of wet eyes that night. You know what
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean?
yeah. I'm sure there was. I'm sure there was. Yeah.
Well, bro, I appreciate your time. I have one final question before we get out of here, man. I ask every person that comes and joins me for a little session of what I call the conversations. In any way, shape, or form, how do you define success in your personal life?
Being the best you can be at whatever it is you're doing. And I'm not just talking about job. Are you the best? Like I said earlier, are you the best son? Are you the best husband? Are you the best father? All you can do, man, is wake up every single day and be the best that you can be. That's all you can do. You can't do anything more than that. That's why, like my I know throughout my entire career, no matter what company I was with, I know I did the absolute best that I could. And honestly, that's all that really matters. It never phoned it in, never didn't work hard. Nobody, as a matter of fact, nobody ever outworked me to this day. Nobody, maybe Vince McMahon. Okay, yeah,
Right.
there were probably two people that worked harder than I did. Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn. Outside of those two guys, man, nobody outworked me. And I just took a lot of pride in just being the absolute best I could be.
Love it. Love to hear it. Vince Russo, former WCW heavyweight champion, Vic Venom himself. I appreciate the time today, man. This has been an excellent talk. Hopefully, you enjoyed yourself.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, man. I did enjoy talking with you. I enjoyed the conversation. Relaxing, no stress. Thank you for a good conversation, man.
Brother, you have a great day, man. Well, shit, great evening. Enjoy yourself, and whatever you're getting into tonight, man, take those gummies and relax, brother.
Yeah, I will, man. Thanks a lot, bro. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Take care, man.